Welcome back to Fandom Fridays. Am I running out of ideas? No, because I'm still doing fanfics that are not point related. I just really want to do some more Lex Luthor.
Order! Court!
It took several minutes before order restored. Everyone in the courtroom looked beyond surprise. Worried.
Miss Roy, proceed.
I know it must be hard to believe that a billionaire played like Bruce Wayne could be involved in a plot so dastardly that would involve the killing of Superman and the framing of Lex Luthor. What is Bruce Wayne but the face of week-long parties with A-list celebrities? But make no mistake, Bruce Wayne is capable of that and much more. Let's take a hard, good, long look at his life. He was brutally murdered when he was a young boy. What would that do to him? To any of us? He had no immediate family, so he remained under the care of a veteran of the British Army's Vessel Air Service. Not exactly to marry Tom. At the age of 14, Bruce left Gotham and worked to obtain skills in martial arts and forensics. She presented a video of young Bruce fighting against several opponents and studying things. He enrolled in several colleges, failing out all of them when he was 20. Here he is with Henri, the dangerous bounty hunter who took him under his wing for several years. Another picture. Korea, where a terrorist trainer named Karagi said that Wayne had an impressive intelligence, but his past was true to imagine that. A terrorist trainer kicks you out of the program because you're too traumatized for his taste. Your Honor, we came upon Score with a sword Wayne Enterprises. While on our network, our engineers chanced upon a secret room, and from there we were able to pull back the deception of Bruce Wayne. And what we found makes all of this pale in comparison. We discovered that the happy-go-lucky billionaire had turned Wayne Enterprises into a lumbering shell, with hundreds of items missing from R&D projects. The entire prototypes vanished from warehouses and bank accounts that should have been flush with cash didn't have a red cent. We found, see most of the NATO of her large box, a handful of passports from varied nations: Northern Ireland, Spain, Mexico, made out in different names. She flipped one open to read the names: to Mordecai Wayne, Sir Hemingford Gray, Bruno Diaz. She tossed them on the desk. All of them with Bruce Wayne's face, and not one of them a forgery. These were made by the proper authorities in those countries, with a veritable paper trail. We're entering them as defense exhibits 9 through 21. We also found computers with files on people so detailed the mere act of viewing them breaks several privacy laws. Wayne had dossiers on judges, politicians, generals. Not even his fellow Justice League members were safe from scrutiny. She found a series of folders with symbols of Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, Wonder Woman, all with scalding secrets, and all of them attained with spy software beyond our elite agency's wildest dreams. Found in a computer with hacking capabilities that could cripple entire nations. Everything you see here and more was created, used, and completely known Bruce Wayne without any sort of restraint or oversight from any sort of law enforcement or government agency. It's shocking, really. Mr. Wayne claimed to be a playboy billionaire for last year, that he was a habitual liar, embezzler, and thief, with major crimes committed against institutions such as the United States Army, Air Force, and the Marines. We are working with General Holden, who gave us a laundry list of equipment worked by the Pentagon that never testing stage, but with a black coat of paint, made it to Batman's utility belt. Here's a copy of that list, and a copy of all items found in the secret warehouses, matching almost perfectly. She also projected cowl, suits, gloves, boots, heads-up displays, project equivalent. His vehicles were also represented, the biggest reaction for the crowd being the Tumbler, referenced on screen as the DCX-38 bridging vehicle. We are appalled by the near science of Wayne's deception, and we collaborate with the right instances to see that fugitive Wayne answers to these crimes. But first, we must clear the good name of Lex Luthor. Timidly, too shocked to even try to dispute the arguments for the defense. One woman looked angry, then worried, then sad. Lex sat there, his expression sympathetic. Your Honor, the defense calls Detective Harvey Bullock. The gruff detective walked in, reeking of cigar smoke, his hospitality palatable. Detective Bullock, were you present at Gorfunkel's warehouse on March 17th of this year?
Yeah.
Gene took the remote control, pressed the button. The flat screen came to life, and the images of a helmet-mounted camera displayed. It showed Detective Bullock walking in a packed warehouse. There you are, Detective. Could you tell us why you were in the warehouse on that day?
We got a 911 call reporting shots fired in the warehouse. We went in and found the place as you can see it.
He pointed at the screen. It showed a mess of officers walking around the warehouse, full of capes, cowls, gloves, and hundreds of Batman-related items. There were glimpses of Bat-cycles, hang gliders, and two Batmobiles. One was the long, sleek back vehicle with bubble windshields, and the other was a tumbler. What were you looking at?
Bunch of capes, gals, costumes.
Thank you, Detective. Were you the one who found the discs? She pointed out a stack of discs in a clear evidence bag.
Yeah.
You looked like you loathed being there, and just said the bare minimum not to fall in contempt of court. Did you lock them into police custody?
Yeah.
Of your evidence log, Your Honor. There are only two signatures, both from they have not left police custody since. Detective, we also found a DVD recorder among the bank of monitors, which has also been in police custody, signed in by you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Your Honor, we'd like to show you the defense's video number 3. She took one of the discs and played in the recorder. It was a black and white high-definition video, and it showed the inside of the warehouse in high angle. Going fast forward to the moment when the massive Batmobile arrived. The door opened and Batman climbed out. He appeared to be gas went through the crowd when he removed his cowl and revealed Bruce Wayne for a few minutes. When he reappeared, he was wearing a light gray suit and bullets was the gas. Timmons was furious. Your Honor, that video could have been faked in a number of ways. Maybe Mr. Wayne was on his way back from a party. You went to the party in a Batmobile, dressed as Batman. Warren raised an eyebrow. He's rich enough to have his own. Timmons saw the trap but reacted too late. Replica of the Batmobile. Why would he do that? To impress the ladies, I'm sure. To impress the ladies, Jean shrugged. We'll get to that in a moment. Timmons continued. In any case, we want the video and have it checked by our experts. By all means. However, you'll need to use the Bat Player. If you use any other type of disc player, they'll show blanks. That's why it took us so long to see the content. Bullet. Were there any fingerprints found in the objects found in the warehouse?
Yeah.
Were they identified?
Yeah.
Who did they belong to?
Alfred Pitt.
Or any SAS man who confirmed from silent any other prints?
Richard.
The sole survivor of the Flying Graces, adopted by Wayne in a rather questionable process. Any other prints?
Bruce Wayne's.
Thank you. No further questions. The detective leaned in, conspiratorially.
Detective Bullock, do you buy all this monarchy? No, I don't. Pretty Boy Wayne is the guy who made Two-Face piss his pants. Went to smile at the Joker? No way. That's Wayne coming from a party, plain and simple. Or maybe he was into a freaky superhero play, you know? Wouldn't be the first time I came across a high monkey freaky and wonder Batman's gear.
Thank you. Did you find any evidence of any shots fired from the warehouse?
No, we found traces of a chemical reaction by the work table over there. Analysis came back as a low-grade explosive, harmless.
Detective Bullock. What chemicals?
Construction warehouse.
Maybe those were explosive caps, left over from construction jobs.
Maybe, yeah.
Thank you, Detective. No further questions.
Miss Lloyd, your next witness.
She stood next to the witness stand and dramatically said, "To the feds calls Alexander Luthor." The hubbub of the crowd rose to a pitch, and the Honorable Frantic Timmons almost jumped out of his seat with joy. Lex understand? Was Lori scuttling her case? He was itching to go toe-to-toe against Lex Luthor. Lex stood up from the defense table and walked slowly to the stand. He was impeccably dressed and walked with an air of confidence.
Do you solemnly affirm to tell the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under pains and penalties of the treasury?
I do. First things first. Did you kill Superman? No, I did not. Did you sack the Fortress of Solitude? No, I did not. Why do you think you have been accused of doing this? Because I wanted to buy Wayne Enterprises. I made an enemy out of Bruce Wayne. Why is that? It's no secret that Bruce Wayne has never been a hands-on CEO, and I live and breathe business. Lex smiled towards the jury. My business sense has made not only Metropolis thrive, but we shared the wealth all across America. On the other hand, under Bruce Wayne, Wayne Enterprises stocks were $20 under the highest historical price, and some divisions were frankly stagnant. Lucius Fox, bless his heart, did the best he could, but most of the blame landed squarely on Bruce Wayne. He flipped and fought between deals, wished and washed in and out, probably more interested in partying with starlets than in running a multi-billion-dollar business. I put together to buy the underused divisions or if a merger was on the table. He shrugged and raised his eyebrows. That was it. Emily. He refused the deal several times, trying to scare me out of the deal. And did he succeed? Yes and no, Miss Loring. In our social circle, we know that Bruce is a whole business with his parents and all that kind is a touchy subject. We're very careful around him. He rarely business meetings, foully unreliable. He leaned to the microphone because he swagged when he adopted that kid, Richard Grayson. And when they went to functions, you could see the kid was trying to conceal bad luck. Bruce was better at it, but you could see there was something else between them. Mr. Timmons hinted at Bruce's ladies, but I heard from friends that he didn't sleep with any of his girlfriends.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Sustained. Mr. Luthor, keep the matters at hand.
Yes, Your Honor. No, Bruce didn't scare me out of the deal, but I tried to be more diplomatic. I tried different approaches, setting people. A merger would make him 10 times richer. Could it be doubted to your business sense? After all, you did get taken by Madden's pyramid scheme. A black we managed to pull through. That's what made me look in Wayne Enterprises' direction and do the same for them. Bruce stonewalled on us, but his is a publicity traded company, so we went around him and bought Wayne's stock. How did Bruce Wayne take it? He sent my way every kind of inspection and audit he could think of. We had inspectors and supervisors and senior agents crawling all over LexCorp on a daily basis. I didn't mind much. I keep a tidy ship. But then Batman started snooping around my offices. The Batman? Yes. I have several security videos that show him stalking me, my top aides, my personal assistant, my offices, and other businesses I own in Metropolis and Gotham. My security is second to none, but he managed on several occasions. Did he report the break-ins? A few of my companies where he broke in and tried to keep it in-house. I didn't find it out until it hardly mattered. Nothing was taken, nothing was broken, and, most of all, law enforcement considers him a good guy. Did you know that Batman was officially involved in 881 cases solved by the Gotham City Police Department? Arched their eyebrows. That many? Yes. Anyway, I stopped hearing objections for Bruce Wayne earlier this year, and I went ahead with the merger. Things stalled when Lucius Fox took ill during the time Batman fought. After that, Bruce Wayne became permanently unavailable. He pulled a vanishing act, with no one seeing neither hide nor hair from him. As you can imagine, Wayne Enterprises took it very hard. The stock plummeted even more, and the board was fed up with his antics. Next thing I know, they voted for the merger. When that was completed and we took over, our audit revealed all the stock prices. Finally, I shocked and explained what type of behavior. His constant unoffice attitude. The Enterprises survived with him and they only came up with a brilliant design or managed an important contract every now and then. And the company did well because of him. Not great, mind you, just well. The audit revealed that from well to great money of Wayne Enterprises went to fund Batman's war on crime. Is it expensive? It is prohibitively expensive. G nodded and pressed a button. A slide of vehicles, suits, and hideouts Batman had. A running count was kept, with a total noted on the bottom right corner. Well, that's a lot of numbers, Mr. Luthor. How big is the figure? $682 million, and that's before he even landed up hunting a bad guy. If he factors he was active, he spent close to $3 billion in this. In a city where cops are badly supplied, how come this man invested so much in outfitting himself? Sure, he saved lives, but he could have helped even more. Did you know he had the best crime lab inside his Batcave where none but he could use it? He did have a standing donation to the city for $10 million every year, and the Wayne Foundation helped underprivileged children and unwed moms, not to mention government and law enforcement. Warren said, I know. But when you see that he spent 20 million in things like bat shark repellent and bat cycles, it feels like a bit like the change you find in a sofa, doesn't it? He spent an exorbitant amount of money just to play with the big boys and girls. Like sit in his seat. It's like the arms race. Batman had to have everything to help him keep up. The fastest car, fastest computers, the oddest gadgets he could pull out and overcome any situation. Not to mention his state-of-the-art hacking and surveillance equipment. But no matter what, he'd never be able to compete with the biggest boy in the solar block. Superman. Indeed, Bruce Wayne resented Superman, an overgrown farm boy, constantly made snide remarks about his intelligence and his Boy Scout attitude. The man lied, using expensive technology to be as capable as the man who was born with everything and decided to take his place. Do you think that's the reason he did that? Batman is a very dangerous man, and when you pull back the cowl and see he's Bruce Wayne, the kid who saw his parents being brutally murdered, it explains a lot about his conduct. When I tried to take over Wayne Enterprises and make it thrive, he realized he couldn't afford to keep being Batman without his contracts, and sponsorship. He arched an eyebrow. I had to go, so he could keep being Batman. Normally I would disagree with the whole entire Batman spends more money on himself and he could use that money to help out the police, etc., etc., etc. But in this case, it's Lex Luthor saying I'm okay with that. You're not supposed to be agreeing with Lex Luthor, no matter how cool he's being. Although I gotta say, I like the whole idea of him saying about how Batman calls him an overgrown farm boy. Snide remarks about Clark's intelligence. It sounds so much like Frank Miller's Batman that I refuse to believe that that wasn't a pot shot. It feels like this is saying, yeah, this is what happens if you put the real legs against Frank Miller's Batman. Help Batman. Your Honor, the defense has not proved beyond reasonable doubt that Bruce Wayne was Batman, other than suspicious video and some questionable fingerprints in discarded gear, which may or may not be real Bat gear.
Mr. Lang, I've been very patient with this line of questioning, but if we don't see something more tangible, I'm going to rule it inadmissible.
Is there conclusive evidence that Bruce Wayne is Batman? Certainly. Did you know that the eye shields in Batman's cowl are also high definition? I didn't. Batman's cowl recorded every conversation and interaction. One of his eyes bulged, and so did a few others scattered among the audience. Among them a man in a bomber jacket, a blonde gentleman in a bow tie, and a woman wearing fancy jewelry. Of footage. Luckily, he had everything listed and itemized in his secret room in his Gotham City penthouse. Your Honor, we'd like to submit this video for the defense. Warren pressed the remote and the video played. And slowly staying in his office, smoking his pipe. His blade read the date and time. February 14th, 2006, 9:55 p.m. Batman's voice sounded off camera.
Actually, your department's full of holes, but Holloman's the only one leading directly to Ted.
Gordon answered,
You may be right.
Batman interrupted.
Follow it up if you like, but don't. I will.
Gordon says, I assumed as much. I know how you feel about the case.
I know you don't agree with my methods, but you seem to appreciate my results.
It's not that. It's that you seem to know more about my department than I do. The camera moved to show him leaving the office through the fire escape, using the Batline to swing through the city 2 blocks, and then drop when his wrist was thumbed. The Batmobile's door opened. He got in, started the car, and drove away. A red light blinked. He pressed the switch, revealing an immaculately dressed older gentleman. Gene put the video on pause. The man anywhere.
Miss Theo called about the first. On my way. Meeting with Gordon took longer than I thought, but I'll be there.
False but late is one thing, sir. But if you're coming here to change, you're about to be bloody honest God.
I'll make it up to her. Call the restaurant and tell them to start our favorite dishes.
Already did that, sir. May I suggest you go to the Galman warehouse? I believe in Armani should be in the emergency lockers.
Your lifesaver.
Then the door opened and he jumped out of the vehicle and ran towards the locker. The recording stopped when he removed the cowl. It jumped to another video, taken from a camera located in front of the Locker City warehouse. It showed Batman without his cowl, taking a Marty suit from it and running out of frame. He got dressed out of frame, but his reflection could be seen. Finally, he emerged, showered, shaven, and hair neatly combed, wearing the suit. Mr. Luthor, can you identify the suit? That looks like a single-breasted, two-button with a notched lapel, light gray on Marty with a satin tie, geometric pattern. Here's a picture taken from the Gotham Gazette on the night of February 14th, 2006, where you can see Vicky Vale having dinner at Fox Gardens. Mr. Luthor, can you identify the suit Mr. Wayne is wearing? A single with notched lapel, light gray on Marty. Marty pulled a still for the video next to the picture of the Gazette. One and the same. On a video taken the night of Batman's. It started with still about punching Superman's face. This video was badly damaged. We could only recover the final minute of it, on account of the brutality of the fight. It looked like it hardly affected Superman. You're lucky I rolled with the punch. Your hand. You son of a bitch. The camera moved a few steps back. I'm gonna make you regret you came to Gotham. But what's wrong with you? Superman caught battering with one hand. First you punched me and now battering? The blast didn't overload the light sensors of the camera, so they could see Superman fall backwards, his whole body smoking. What did you do to my powers? What did you do to my powers? Lauren did another side-by-side comparison. This time it was zoomed in frame of the battering to an image of the computer file. Our technicians zoomed in on the battering and discovered that it matches perfectly with a diagram found in one of Wayne's computers, the one he had in his Gotham penthouse. It's the same principle as the beam Dr. Tyler worked on, only with an explosive red sun component, for shock and awe. What happened after that, we don't know. The disc stopped recording after that, and new footage has not emerged. She showed the video of the destruction of Wayne Manor and the finding of the Kryptonian remains. The disappearance of Bruce Wayne, I think he never realized their fight against Superman would have someone watching it and making it public. Even if Joker faced scrutiny under his fellow heroes. The very same heroes he spied relentlessly. Thank you, Mr. Luthor. No further questions. Your Honor, I'm parched. Could I have a glass of water?
You may, Mr. Luthor. Mr. Timmons, your witness.
Bravo! Bravo! Hired right there. Stop before he put a glass to his lips. It's the truth, Mr. Timmons. You can't make up stuff like this. Oh, but you can. As a man with ample resources and staggering wealth, you're richer than Bruce Wayne and you have a mean streak a mile wide. Surely you could have spent a few billions in taking down both Batman. No, I didn't. My finances are squeaky clean, and LexCorp's records are available to the public. The IRS audited us when we were merging with Wayne's, and they gave us a... You're also one of the most gifted orators I've ever seen. I bet if I gave you the most obscure referencer's topic, you'd be able to talk for 6 hours straight and would never repeat how you've been talking around us, like that fella usual suspects. Take a seat at the prosecutor's desk. Unfortunately, we have one way of sifting through your baloney and finding the real deal. Lex shrugged and took a drink from the glass. Your Honor, with the permission of the court, we'd like to bring an expert in lie detection. Wonder Woman stood up, her golden lasso clutched in her hands. Action, Your Honor! Maureen stood up, her face red. This is all kinds of brain gamble.
Mr. Timmons, you know as well as I do that the lasso and its results are inadmissible in court. I'll have to instruct the jury not to take into consideration anything said because of it.
Yes, Your Honor. But at this point, I'm pretty sure Mr. Luthor could have gotten away with the biggest pile of lies the world's ever seen. But if we can extract a nugget of truth, inadmissible as it were, we have a glimpse of the madness and depravity that hides behind the charming facade. If he wins this case, the people will know he killed Superman.
Mr. Timmons, I cannot.
Your Honor, like said straightening his tie, I'll allow it.
Mr. Luthor, I don't advise.
He coughed, clearing his throat. He said so softly it sounded like a whisper. Stand. She wore a business suit, much like everyone could see the black band on her left arm, with a red S shield on it. She uncoiled her lasso and dangled it in front of Lex. He rolled up his sleeves and grabbed the lasso with both hands. A golden halo of invective enveloped him. Lex Luthor, did you kill Superman? Lex opened his mouth and said, No. Wonder Woman's face was a stern mask, but when he answered, her jaw dropped. Were you part of his murder? No. Did you hurt him in any way? It took a second. No. What happened to him? A beat. Bruce Wayne Batman killed him. And where is Batman? He raised his eyebrows before answering. I don't know. Wonder Woman pulled her lasso off Alexa's hands, her eyes unbelievably. Slowly, her eyes became bloodshot. Her nostrils flared and her mouth opened with rage. You lie! Her words flooded the courtroom. You lie! She gripped the bastard and split her head. By Hera, you lie! Her scream was deafening, but Lex didn't flinch. Wonder Woman dropped the lasso, raced off the witness stand, turning away, and went for him. Chaos erupted. The guards banged the scaffold, calling for order. People screamed. Some fled for the exits. An enormous green hand fell to Wonder Woman. Diana, calm down! Green Lantern stood in the aisle, struggling to control the enraged princess. This is not the way! He did it! I know he did it! There were tears in her eyes. We can't prove it. We have nothing. Just around. They see your outbursts. We have even less. Batman couldn't have. Maybe. Green Lantern said, briefly touching his throat. Maybe not, but we're done here. Diana nodded, and Green Lantern slid there, lasso in his hands. He offered it to her. For what it's worth, Diana, I did not kill him. Wordlessly, she grabbed her lasso and stepped away. She walked through the aisle, past the court doors, and left the courtroom. Green Lantern eyeballed Lex and followed her out.
I have never, in my years on the bench, seen such an appalling display of professional misconduct like yours, Mr. Timmons.
Your Honor, I never thought.
You never thought what? That the warrior princess would behave in court when things didn't go her way?
Jean Glory was furious. If it wasn't for Green Lantern, my client would be. I don't even want to finish that sentence.
I agree. The case didn't go your way, and your cheap trick failed you. I apologize to Mr. Luthor for any harm occurred.
That's okay, Your Honor. Lex tried to let you Timmons. But if there's any damage, you'll be hearing from my attorney.
Foreperson, have you reached the verdict?
We have, Your Honor. The bailiff took a slip of paper from the foreperson's hands and gave it to the judge.
Charge you.
We, the jury, find the defendant Alexander Joseph Luthor not guilty.
On the count of felony murder, what say you?
We, the jury, find guilty.
On the count of sabotage, what say you?
We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
Count of you.
We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
Thank you for your services, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You're excused. Mr. Thorpe, you're free to go.
Lex and Jean Glory parted ways on the steps of the courtroom. They refused to give an interview, while Jean faced the reporters and said a press statement forthcoming. But Mr. Luthor just wanted his privacy for the time being. His limousine approached the curb, and he climbed aboard and sped away. Once safely seated, he loosened his tie and relaxed. Pearl greeted him as seated across to him, surrounded by flashcards, a headset, and a video screen. How are you feeling, Lex? Lex sighed. Fine. Those idiots. He removed a small speaker from his top molars. He disengaged the electronic device from his necktie and dropped it in the ashtray. He crushed it on a paperweight while Pearl sat next to him. How long until the paralyzer wears off? 6 hours. Lex sighed. I couldn't risk any less. Did you have any trouble with the flashcards? No, she beamed. I expected her to ask more questions, but she just went for the easiest. And in the judge chambers, I went with the basics. He nodded. I guess you never expected her lasso could be defeated with a vocal cord paralyzer, voice modulator, and a gesture simulator, and a lovely, loyal woman with all the possible answers. He kissed her at the lasso compels you to truth. But if you're physically unable to, it's completely useless. That is so diabolically clever, I can't help but I, one of my favorite DC villains. While they analyzed the glass, will there be any traces of paralyzer? He shook his head and produced a glass from his coat pocket. Perfectly accurate, Pearl said. The way to your jaw and vocal motions. Jonah did well. I could feel my paralyzed muscles move to form the words you said, even when they wanted to say something else. She wanted a slight delay in the response time. The second's delay could have cost me dearly. He massaged his face. I think Batman. I see, asked, caressing his neck. The lasso. What's so bad? He grinned. After all, I didn't kill him.